Hey guys, and welcome back to another book video with the two favorite book nerds, Amy
and Kelly.
Today we're doing our May reading wrap-up for you guys. And it's gonna be a short one because we didn't read a lot of books in May.
Till you start ranting.
Oh, I am not going to rant.
Okay.
Okay, I am, because if I rant about two of these books that I read in May, we will be here all night because there's so much to rant about. There's so much. Yeah, May was just a busy month, and unfortunately I spent my time with books that I didn't really enjoy. But
yeah,
anyway, it happens.
I didn't have time to read at all, but the two, count them, two books I did read, I did enjoy. So
that's good.
It's one of those, yeah. It was good. It was a good reading month. It just wasn't a good reading month.
Yeah. Quality over quantity.
Most definitely this time. Most definitely.
I will go ahead and kick us off, I guess.
Yep. Go.
Alright, so I read 4 books in May. The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Moreno-Garcia, which I gave 3 stars. Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher, also 3 stars. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, which I gave 2 stars. And Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, which I gave 1 star. For an average rating in the month of May of 2.25 stars.
Ooh, ouch.
Indeed.
That really brought the average down, didn't it?
Sure did.
All right, well, I read 2 books. One is God Killer by Hannah Connor, I'm not sure, which I gave 4 stars to. And The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, which is our book club book, which we'll be talking about next week for you all. Sometime for us. And I gave this 4 stars.
Woo!
Yes, I did.
You know, it's my pick, so.
It was.
I'm glad you liked it.
I did. I did like it.
Good. I'm excited to read it now, like even more excited. Pages for me in May, I read a total of 1,544 pages for an average of 386. My longest book was the one I liked the least, Iron Flame, and my shortest book was Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher.
I read 830 pages for an average of 415. My longest book was The Thursday Murder Club, and my shortest book was God Killer.
Wow.
How about that?
Alright, authors. So I had 2 authors I've read from before, Sylvia Moreno-Garcia and T. Kingfisher, and 1 new author, Rebecca Yarros, and I won't read from Rebecca Yarros again, but I will read the others. For sure. I am done with anything Rebecca Yarros writes for the rest of my existence.
Both authors were new to me, and I will continue to read both of them.
Yay! And then finally we have genres. So I had 1 romance, 1 fantasy, and 2 romantasy, I suppose you could call them.
I had 1 fantasy and 1 murder mystery.
Perfect! So getting into the books themselves, the first book I read was The Beautiful Ones, and I'm not going to talk about this one because we already discussed this one in length for our last book club live, so go and check out that video and learn more about this one. I think for me personally, I just was kind of done with romance after our March Madness and everything, and I think that it just was the wrong time for this book, because I know you really liked it a lot.
I did really like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think my only problem with it was the magical elements weren't enough.
Yes,
they
100%.
Made total sense in the story, but it just wasn't enough.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah,
quite a bit. And we called it Bridgerton.
Yeah,
it's
Bridgerton with
Bridgerton.
a hint of magic.
Yeah,
just a hint, because it needed more. But
it definitely needed more.
Yeah. Not too bad. Definitely not her best, but I didn't hate it.
It's still good.
Yeah. And then next. Oh,
well,
hello!
Hi, Pen. Hello, Penny. Where are you gonna go? Snip around a little. Okay, could you maybe move it along just a little? Really, miss? Are you hissing at me? Oh, I don't think so. Who feeds you? Dang. She's a pissy girl tonight.
It happens. We all get that way on occasion.
Yeah, we do.
Alright, well, next I had read Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. This is pretty much a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but like Sleeping Beauty is evil.
There's a twist.
There is a twist.
Be with a twist.
There is a twist. I thought there were some interesting parts in this book. I definitely liked some of the like the lore and the supernatural elements that were coming in, because a lot of it reminded me of like Harry Potter and Supernatural, like the TV show vibes.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that because I was reading along and I was like, oh my gosh, they talked about this character in Supernatural, and I was like so excited. And whatever, it was fun in that way, and it definitely like helped me enjoy the book more. I thought Toadling was a really good main character.
Very much so.
Yeah, she was just so, I loved her.
Yeah, she's sweet.
Yeah, and I also liked the knight that he came in. I liked their interactions together, like Toadling and the knight. I thought that was really good. I thought, well, per usual, the writing was fantastic. I mean, T. Kingfisher has a way of like really setting a scene with her words. Like you can visualize it so well. Yeah. And this one had a lot of different like worlds and things happening in it, because you have the fairy world and then the real world and all of that, and time differences and whatever. And she just did a really good job of like helping someone who doesn't read a lot of fantasy still be able to picture it all. And so I thought that was good. The reason why this was 3 stars, I didn't like the ending.
Yeah, it was too fast. It was too rushed.
It was too rushed. It was underwhelming. It was predictable. Yeah. And it was just like, oh, we're done. Like the whole action scene.
For her, for T. Kingfisher, it was not, I expected something a little more outlandish.
Right.
But it's incredibly short, but it needed to be about half again as long.
Yeah.
To draw out some of the lore and also to draw out that end. Because it could have been a really good end.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of just felt like a lazy ending.
Yeah, it was
to me, which I wouldn't have anticipated or expected from T. Kingfisher. So that was definitely kind of sad, but like I said, I didn't hate it. I gave it 3 stars. So.
It's still a fun book.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting twist on the Sleeping Beauty. And there were some parts where I was reading and I'm like, what just happened? And so, yeah, definitely some moments of just like, what? What? So, it was good. Yeah.
Here we go. See if she can keep her promise.
Okay. So I didn't think that I would like this book, but I read it anyway because my friend Cass read it. She gave it 5 stars.
Of course she did.
Of course she did. And she wanted somebody that she knew to read it as well, so that way she could talk to them about it. Because she was like messaging me like, oh my gosh, this happened in this book. Like she wasn't telling me what had happened, but she was just like, oh, I just want someone to talk to. And I'm like, okay, girl, you know what? For you, I will give this book a try. Because she was telling me, she was like, it's really, like, it's Harry Potter, but with more dragons. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm in, okay?
Oh, no.
And she wasn't wrong. It was Harry Potter, but it also was Divergent and Shadow and Bone and all of these other books, because this book could not, for the life of it, have an original thought. It couldn't come up with an original thought to save its life, okay? Every single thing in this book, you could predict everything that's happening in these books because they've happened in other books that have already been published. All these other popular series.
Well, it's because it just followed the... I didn't read the book, by the way. I have read samples of the book, and I have watched enough review videos that you know. And like you said, it just is... It is everything that's come before, so you know what it is. Yeah. But it's also stupid and makes no sense.
Yes. Yes.
I haven't even read the book.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so the whole time I'm reading it, and I'm thinking, like, I'm reading Divergent, which because you have all the different factions in here that you could go into, and the main character chooses to go against, like, her family or whatever, and kind of go against her family, whatever, and choose the most dangerous faction or group or whatever that you can pick, and everyone thinks that, oh, because she's supposed to be a scribe, that she is not gonna survive, and apparently she has some type of a brittle bone disease or whatever that's never really fleshed out in this book. Okay, let me tell you, it's like brought up randomly, and like only at certain points does she have this disability, apparently. And like when it really comes down to it, she's not all that fragile. I don't even know. I'm so confused. The disability representation for this disease that she has is not there. It's non-existent. That's what.
Well, she has no skills.
She has no skills.
She's a scribe, not a fighter.
Yeah.
And she has this disease, and yet her mother forces her into doing this.
Right. Yeah. And her father.
That part I did read.
Her father was a scribe.
Yeah.
And so it's not like her mom hates scribes.
And why? Because no daughter of mine. That's literally the reason. No daughter of mine.
Well, yeah, she wants her to learn how to fight. It does come out later, her real intentions as to why she wanted her to go and join the Riders and all of that, but it still didn't really make sense to me.
It's still stupid.
And it was still stupid, because also you have this girl our main character, who is so small. She's so short. You know, this is continually, she's so short. She's so short, she's so small. And and she's fragile and all these things. But yet at the same time, she's over here just like, I'm a badass. Like, I've never done any of these things before, but damn it, I'm gonna do them. Because I'm Violet Sorengale, and I can do it if I want to. I'm used to the pain. I'm used to it. I can learn how to channel that pain and do it. Like, when in your life have you ever, since you've been working as a scribe, when have you ever had to learn how to channel your pain and fight through it?
Because she's not like other girls.
Oh my god. Ugh.
She's not like other girls.
No, no.
She's
and
apparently, she's that girl.
Yeah. Yep.
No, thank you.
And apparently her also brittle bone disease doesn't ever come into play when she's having just like crazy sex with Zayden. Hello. Like, there's this.
You weren't gonna do it.
I wasn't gonna do it, but it happened anyway. Okay. The emotions that I have for this book. Okay.
Rein it in.
Reining it in. Okay. To call this an adult fantasy novel is a farce. Okay? It is so cringily YA that even someone who loves reading YA would think this is bad. It's so cringy. It's so cringy. The dialogue is terrible. Okay? These are supposed to be, still kind of like kids. They're college age. So like 20 to 25 plus, whatever. Who talks like this? The dialogue in here, no one's gonna talk like this. Okay? It's like you're literally taking these life-threatening and super dangerous situations, and they're just like, rawr, I hate you because blah blah blah, something stupid, or like, oh, you like him, you should like me. And I'm like, why does this matter? Why does this matter? There's literally a war, and we don't know why there's a war, okay? The world building in this book is also non-existent, okay? Well, there's a war on the front that's coming our way. Do we know why? Sure don't. There's people getting murdered in this school, and there's tons of gore and violence, and it just killings for no reason, and no one's even like complaining. They're just like, oh, so-and-so got taken out by a dragon, or so-and-so got killed by another cadet, and they're just like,
and it
happens.
It's so stupid because they get like, this is me. I haven't even read the book and I know this stuff. They go on about how short-handed they are.
Yes!
And yet they put their kids in this place where they can just randomly kill each other.
Yes! And there's no consequences. Okay, they have like some rules, like you can't kill someone if you're here or there, but like they make them fight. And if they die in a fight, it's just like, oh well, should have tried harder if you don't want to die or whatever.
Yeah.
Their entrance into the writer's thing is they have to cross this parapet where if it's like they fall, they die. And it's just like, that's how you get into the writer. And like,
yeah.
They could fall off their dragon while they're riding, and if they fall off their dragon, then they're dead because their dragon's not going to catch them. Why would their dragon do that? No. And like, literally you are wasting all of this potential manpower instead of like taking these people who want to actually be soldiers for you and fight for you and like trying to like mold them and train them. You're just like, we don't care. If you live, you live. Great. Okay, then we'll take you. We're natural selectioning you all at a time where we can't afford that.
Yeah, when we need soldiers.
And then we're gonna complain about how they're taking that city and this city and whatever, and we're not gonna be able to fight them off because there's too many of them and there's not enough of us. And it's like, I wonder why. I wonder why.
Okay, and then I'm gonna get her on another one. Here we go. And then there was a rebellion, and they forced the children of the rebellion into service, which but they put them in like the most elite. So they're training them to be the most elite soldiers. The children that their parents were killed because they were in a rebellion. Yeah.
And
let's put them in the most elite.
They're called the marked ones, and everybody. Oh my gosh.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and so like every single person that was part of the rebellion initially, their families were part of the rebellion because they're all marked. Okay, and then it comes as a surprise to everybody when the kids of the rebellion start another rebellion.
Told you I'd get her going again.
How did I? And the main character's just, oh my, nope, no. Okay, like why are we surprised? Why are we surprised that any of this is happening? And like, it was so predictable. It was dumb. Also, the only reason why this was classified in adult fantasy book is just because of the random sexualization and sex scenes thrown in for no goddamn reason. Okay? Like, we're literally the opening of the book, okay? Like I mentioned, you have to cross a parapet, which is just like a balance beam over a huge ass canyon, okay? And it's windy, it's terrible conditions, it's raining. These are people that are not trained for this kind of test, but we're gonna do it. And all we can think about while we're standing about to go out onto this life-threatening test to get into this dangerous academy is how hot so-and-so looks and who we can bang and who we can't bang, and also just like how badly we want to climb that man like a tree. Let us forget about the fact that we could fall to our death, okay? No, we're too focused on whether or not we can climb him. And that continues throughout the whole thing. They're in this super elite training school where they're dealing with trying to learn how to fight a goddamn war and wrangle dragons, which you can't really do. Okay, the dragons are the ones in control, but the people think that they can control the dragons, and that just goes all to flames, literally. And all we can think about is how hot someone looks. And just, like, what? That is the last thing that would be on my brain, I can tell you this much, if I'm trying to train and not die. And our main character is, her mother was the one that killed all the Marked Ones' families. She was part of that. And so all of the Marked Ones' kids are, like, trying to kill her. But she don't care. She's just like, I'm gonna do this because I can and I'm gonna be fine, you know? It's not like I got like 15 people at least here on just my own floor trying to kill me while I sleep. Nah, let's just focus on how hot Xaden is, okay? And yeah, he's one of the marked ones too, and he's my enemy. Or is he? I don't know. I don't know. The enemies to lovers in this book was done so poorly, okay? The very first time we meet Xaden, yeah, he tries to kill her. But then every time after that, he tries to save her. And he decides he's gonna train her. And it's like, bro, I thought you were supposed to be an enemy, but clearly you got some other motive. Like, what's happening here? What's happening here? The camera was done with me. So then Violet and Xaden's dragon, like, she bonds to the mate of Xaden's dragon, okay, whatever. So then if their dragons...
way.
Right? And so if their dragons are horny for each other, they're horny for each other. So, you know, that's kind of awkward. I don't know. And she's just gonna sit there this whole time being just like, oh my gosh, I hate him. He's tried to kill me, but oh, he's so hot, you know? Just think, and you just imagine what it would be like with him. And it's like, oh, but I just don't like toxic men. But also, like, I do. Like, reading, that's all I could think about. Like, that's how she's like a valley girl or whatever. So it's like, oh my god, he's so toxic, you know? But like oh my god, like, oh my gosh, like, Xaden is so toxic. But like, can you imagine? Like, it'd be so much fun.
You cannot edit any of this out.
I won't. No, okay? I didn't hate Xaden himself. He was very textbook copy-paste, like every other broody romantic interest, whatever, bad boy that you have in every other romance book. I did like him in this book. We'll talk about him in Iron Flame in a second. Because personality shifts, hello.
We might need to break for a snack or something before we...
Iron Flame will be easy. I'm getting most of it out on Fourth Wing because a lot carries to Iron Flame. But, yeah, no. And I didn't like Violet. If we can't tell, I didn't like Violet. I liked Taryn, her dragon, in this book. So my two favorite characters were a dragon who only spoke every now and again, and Xaden, who also kind of only spoke every now and again. So that tells you anything. The characters that were actually leading the dialogue for most of this book were just not doing it for me. And we had to use our main character Violet to just throw in the little bits of like world building that we could, because apparently she likes to quote history facts when she needs to calm down. So she will sit there, and this is how we learn about the world that we're living in, is because she's gonna sit there and she's like, and blah 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 blah, so and so did this and blah blah blah, blah did this, and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, it calms me down. That ain't calming nobody down, sweetheart. No. No.
Clunky, clunky, clunky.
It was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. And it didn't even have that much fantasy in it. I needed more fantasy and I needed more dragons. All I got was a YA romance with random sex scenes that I don't know. Just, and Violet and Xaden's relationship, oh my god. They didn't love it. There was no emotional connection there. There was no emotional connection. And they're just like, oh my god, I'm gonna... Well, they actually, you know what? They didn't know what they loved each other or not. Or if it was like, or I'm gonna burn the world down for you until we got here. And this is where the personality shift for Xaden made me hate him so much, because he turned into Touch Her and I Die.
Gag me with a spoon.
Liz, it'd be so much more fun. Oh my god, it's my least favorite trope, or what characteristic of a romance character that you could ever have. Touch Her and I Die. And you know what else happened? Her dragon also did it. So the two characters that I actually liked in Fourth Wing shifted to Touch Her and I Die in Iron Flame. And that just made me really hate this book. Because the only hope I had for enjoying it was lost. Up in flames, you could say. Yeah. And I was complaining about the lack of fantasy and dragons in this book. Hello. Where was any of that in this one? It literally was not. It was a teenage romance. It felt like we were in high school, maybe even like ninth grade, early high school. Okay, it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad at him because he didn't tell me about the rebellion that he's in. He didn't tell me that so-and-so is still alive. He didn't tell me this. I'm like, how can I ever trust him again? But like, oh my gosh, I just want to kiss him so bad. And like, he just gets so close to me and I'm gonna break. I'm gonna break. I know I'm gonna break. But no, I can't break. I can't. I'm so mad at him. I hate him. I don't trust him, but I need him. I want him, but no, I can't. That's not an exaggeration.
You need to do a TikTok. Amy X out Iron Flame.
That's the book. That's the book. The entire first half, at least, of this book was that. At least the first half.
That's
so
bad.
The amount of, I rolled my eyes so many times they hurt while reading this book.
And especially because, like, she would find Xaden in, like, compromising places in Fourth Wing. And then she had no clue about a rebellion.
Right, like, she's supposedly brilliant and everyone looks to her for all of the answers and everything. And she's like one of the top writers and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she can't put two and two together that, hey, this person whose family was a part of the rebellion before is now also, like, in these groups with all these other marked kids. And they're like, you know, that doesn't seem sketch because that's against the rules. It's illegal for them to, you know, be in groups of 3 or more.
But let's put them all in the same, like, military unit.
Yeah, because that also makes sense.
But she couldn't figure this out, and so the first half of this book is about something that she should have figured out. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This is why I did not read these books.
Yep. And then also at the same time, we're mad at our our childhood best friend because he used his powers to read our minds. One time. And, like, we're going to act like a little toddler throwing a temper tantrum anytime he comes near us. Because, like, oh my god, you totally betrayed my trust. And I'm like, sorry, but, like, no, Dane, get away from me! It's literally just like, I'm gonna go stand on the other side of this guy so that way there's someone in between us. Because I can't be next to you. I just can't do it. And then he's going to chase us around and be like, Violet, wait. Violet, I'm your childhood best friend. We've known each other. I know you better than anyone. And I care about you so much. And blah, blah. No. And the entire book is spent with everyone just being so concerned about Violet. And like, you can't do this, Violet. You can't do it. Okay, it's like Marlin talking to Nemo in Finding Nemo at the beginning of the movie. It's like, you can't do these things, Nemo. You just can't. And that's what they're saying. They're talking to Violet, and she's just like, well, watch me. Just like Nemo when he went out across the ocean, and they all had to learn that, guess what? She can do these things. Or can she? I don't know. She got a lot of people almost killed. So, is she really that great? I don't know. A lot of people talked about how the endings of these books just shook them to their core. This one, I will admit, the ending got me, and I'm like, whoa, did not see that one coming. Although I totally should have seen it coming now that I reflect on it, because there were clues, and I think I was just kind of like skim reading at that point, that I wasn't even at the, like, I wasn't able to put together the pieces because I was just kind of like,
just get me to the end of this book.
Pretty much. This ending, though, oh my god, so predictable. And it was so terrible. You should be scared of me. Okay. Like, Jesus Murphy, dude, get a grip on yourself, okay? Like, let's be over dramatic all the time. And that was him the entire book, was just like over dramatize everything, just like, oh, like the gods can't keep us apart. Like you, I will burn down the world to have you forever. That's a bit extreme. It's a little bit extreme. Just, I don't know. No. No. I'm sorry, Cass. I tried. And I wish I hadn't tried. Because now I feel bad for hating on books that you love so much. And I learned that there are supposed to be 5 books in this series.
But didn't Cass also like Haunting Adeline?
She did. That should have been my clue.
I'm sorry, Cass. You're a darling, but I know.
And I was told that Iron Flame has more action and stuff in it, and again, we didn't even get to any action till over halfway through the book. It's over 600 pages long, and we didn't even get to any action stuff until over halfway through. I had to read an entire another book just to get to the action.
That's right. It was like over 600 pages.
I literally, once I got to the end, like the end chapters of this book, I was done. I was skipping on through the chapters until I reached the final chapter to read the big shocking ending. And then I put together the pieces of what all had happened because it was really easy to figure out what I had missed. And then it's like, oh, you should be scared of me. We're brothers now. Okay. Get a grip. No. If you love these books, I'm so happy that you loved them. I did, but no. No. Never again.
Yeah. We'll see when the next one comes out.
No, I am telling you right now, this book, Iron Flame, solidified my stance to not read any more of this series. Okay? If it had been a little bit more like Fourth Wing, because I think Fourth Wing was the better book. It still wasn't good, but it was the better book. There wasn't so much, like, teenage drama-y things happening. Okay, like, you're literally fighting a war. And you could die literally every single day you wake up. You could die literally any day you wake up, okay? It could be your last day. But instead, we're gonna focus on not the big picture of the fact that, you know, there's a war and there are greater things to focus on. But instead, no, we're gonna focus on how badly we want to sleep with somebody or to bang somebody or whatever. And we're just gonna whine and we're gonna complain about how it's just so hard. It's so hard. You know, it's just like, oh my god, they're gonna find out my secret. They're gonna find out. How do I do this? How do I survive? I'm like, get an effing grip on yourself, okay? You're supposed to be the top writer, one of the top writers in this academy, okay? Miss, like, I'm Harry Potter and I am a seeker early, you know, before everyone else, like one of the first seekers this young in history. Yeah, I'm one of the youngest writers I knew. I bonded 2 dragons. And then, of course, the dragons even had to have some drama with them, okay? They be fighting with each other, and one of them's a teenager. It's a teenage dragon who's gonna talk back and be like, well, I can do this too. I can fly. You don't control me, Dad, or whatever. It wasn't even her dad, but like, you know, you don't control me. So you had our main character acting like a teenager. You had her dragons with the teenager. I'm like, I thought I was done with this rant.
I did
too. No. Even my voice says I'm done, so I'm done. I have to be done with that, yep.
You sure?
Yeah.
I don't think she ranted that long when we talked about Who Fears Death. I think I did, but I'm not sure I can follow that. Huh.
We're gonna end on a good note because you like your books.
I did like my books. Okay, so my 2 books. I read The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, and this is our May book club book. I get so confused with my dates. So I will not talk about this because in another week we will have a live discussion on it. Have you read it yet?
Yep.
Okay. So I will just say that this is, there's a group of friends that live at a retirement community, and they have the Thursday Murder Club. So there's one of their members who, there's a little mystery around her and what she used to do for a living. But she's able to get a hold of old police files. And so they like to review these police files and see if they can figure out who did it. So that's their Thursday Murder Club. But then a murder happens close to them. And so they jump in and they're going to figure out who this murderer is.
I like it.
So it's very cozy. It's more, it's more Murder, She Wrote than, I don't even have a comparison. It's very Murder, She Wrote. I don't know what I'm saying right now. So it's really cozy, even though people are getting knocked off right and left. It's not dark. There is also, I'll say, one of the things I really, really enjoyed about this book.
Pause. I got a tick. But I don't want to grab it because I'm scared.
I'll get it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but... okay. One of the things I really liked about this book was all the red herrings. And how everything made perfect sense. And I got to the end and went, huh. Well, look at that. So anyway, like I said, I will have a longer, in-depth, spoilery discussion about that next week, but I did enjoy it. 4 stars. I liked all the characters. They're all very distinct. All the four friends, Joyce especially. I just loved her. So, yeah. More next week. Okay, the other book I read is God Killer by Hannah Kaner. God Killer features mainly in this world, there are lots of gods. So there's like a god for everything. So there's gods of safe travel. There's little gods that might be like a god of a pond. And then there's bigger gods like fire gods and ocean gods. And like they're the big powerful ones. But all it takes for a god to occur in this world is to be believed in. So somebody somewhere could go, hey, I really want this wheat to grow, and make some kind of offering, and that can start a seed of a god. And so the more that people offer to them, the more that they believe in them, the more powerful the god grows. They go through like this stage of where they're not very powerful, and then, you know, they become a true god kind of thing. Anyway, there was a war. And this one city, Blenrodden, got like decimated because that was kind of the main central place where all these gods were at. And though they're wild gods, I don't know why they called them that. Anyway, wild gods were kind of getting out of control, and they murdered the queen and most of her family. And so the sole remaining heir gets an army together. They go in, they're killing off all these wild gods, and they have these other gods on their side to help kill off these wild gods. And then, because the new king decides that all gods are bad, he turns on the other gods and just starts killing everybody. Levels the city. The city turns into like this ghost place nobody goes to, you think. And it's just like shut down. Left to go to ruins. Post some guards there and it's all done. So this is like 10 years after that. So Kissen, who is the God Killer character in the book, when she was younger, her family was targeted by zealots of a fire god. And they were going around to like anybody who wouldn't kind of follow them, and they would make offerings to this fire god by burning people alive. So they went into Kissen's home because Kissen's father was devoted to this ocean god. And he was a fisherman, so it kind of made sense. So anyway, the zealots came in and they just wrecked this house and burned this whole family as an offering to the fire god. Kissen survived because she was able to get out of her ties that were tying her down, but then something fell on her and her dad had to cut her leg off to get her out, threw her into the ocean, calling on the god to save her, the ocean god that he was allied with, to save her, which he did. And so that's how Kissen survived while the rest of her family. Obviously, Kissen has a problem with gods, so she became a god killer. So she travels around killing whenever anybody wants a god killed. Like, they don't always do great things. You know, they get a little bit of power and then they might start turning on the people around them, or you know, kind of in that classic fairy way where they give you what you want, but almost too much of what you want, or twist on what you want. The gods are kind of like that too. So people will post that they want this particular god killed, and then Kissen goes in, takes the job, kills the god. So it's very Witcher in that way. So she has just killed this god, and she's approached in the tavern by this young girl. And this young girl begs her to take her with her when she leaves because she has gotten attached to a little god. And I could probably pronounce his name, but I wouldn't do it probably correctly. Skedi, who is the god of little white lies. But that was the other thing about the gods. They have to have a shrine. They're tied to shrines. Okay. So like the bigger gods have shrines all over the world, and so they can travel. If you wreck one shrine, it's no big deal. They've got all these others, but these smaller gods who only have one shrine, that's one of the ways you kill them, is to destroy their shrines. Oh. So this little god, though, has no shrine, and so he is in some way bonded to Inara, is the little girl. And so Inara wants Kissen to take them with her take them when she leaves, because they want to go to Blenrodden to try and find a shrine for Skedi so they can be separated. So you start in that, and again, very Witcher. Very Witcher. So because of reasons, so Inara is like 12 years old, and so Kissen isn't about to go off, especially because she has a god tied to her. And Kissen can't kill the god like she normally would because she's tied to Inara, and it would kill Inara. So she's taking her home. Because of reasons, they end up on the run. And so Kissen decides that she will take her to Blenrodden to try and get this, and then she can kill the god once they're separated. Of course, nothing turns out quite the way that they want to, but come to find out, there's a whole underground kind of passage for, like, underground as in secret, not like actually underground. Pilgrims, people who still believe in the gods, despite what the king has outlawed, and they make secret journeys to Blenrodden to worship the gods that still are living there, because even though they, they couldn't do it all. And so pilgrims will still go there to meet with the gods, because these gods are like physical in presence. So Kissen and Inara get connected with a pilgrim train, and that is where they meet Elogast. And Elo has a mission of his own. And so everybody's like going under assumed names and trying to hide from these pilgrims, and stuff starts to happen from there. And so the journey is, pretty dangerous. Turns out pretty dangerous. Much more dangerous than the pilgrims, expected. But there's this group in the pilgrims. They're all fun characters. The leader of the Pilgrim especially, he was such a rat that it was funny. There is no musician, though, for the Witcher side of it, which, whatever.
Sad day.
But yeah, so they do end up getting there, and you know, everything, stuff happens, and it's crazy. It's so good. It is, I mean, I keep saying Witcher, but it is very Witcher vibes to me. Kind of how, you know, he always gets sucked into things that are more than, not as simple as they turn out to be, and that's what this one starts out as. A simple little quest turns all to hell. It goes all to hell. But I think it's really good. I enjoyed it. The writing was good, and in some ways there's like a coming of age stuff for Inara, even though she is really young. Kind of stuff that she has to go through. The little god Skedi, he actually goes through a character arc too. And then, yeah, between Kissin and Inara, it's very much Ciri and Geralt. Which is really good. But there is, oh my gosh. Okay, so found family in this, you know, the companions and road trip. There is disability rep in here because Kissin is missing a leg. There is LGBTQ representation here. There's a lot for this little bitty book. There's a lot packed into this. This is the first in a series, so, and I am so ready for the next one because the ending was like, this is really good. This is really, really good. And for Elogast, there's this whole redemption kind of thing for him. Not for to redeem himself to other characters, but for him to redeem himself to himself. So he goes through this whole thing, and oh my gosh, there's love, there's betrayal, there's action and adventure, and it's so good for such a little bitty book. It's so good. I love it. Okay, but 4 stars. 4 stars. Why did I give it 4 stars instead of 5? I don't remember why I gave it 4 stars instead of 5. Why did I give it 4 stars instead of 5? I don't remember why I gave it 4 stars instead of 5. I think probably because it was really good and I liked it, but it wasn't like exceptional. There was a few things that were kind of convenient and a little too much. Because in the ending, that's right. In the ending, there were some things that were just a bit convenient. Like they explained why it happened pretty well, but yet, I don't know. It didn't come together. But still really good. I rambled on long enough about that. Okay. That's it. That's all I had.
That's all I have. So, alrighty. Well, that's going to do it for our May reading wrap-up then. If you guys started watching this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, go down below the video and hit that little red subscribe button. Join the Everyday Adventure family so you can see our beautiful faces every Sunday with new book videos just for you. Also be sure to go and join channel membership so you can get early access to videos, members only content, live streams, all of that fun jazz. And go follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Everyday Epic Book Club on both.
And there's more. Yeah. Be sure and check out the rest of Amy's channel because there's lots more than just book content. And if that is not enough, even then, she has a blog as well. So be sure and go check out all her articles over there also and become a part of the entire Everyday Adventurer family.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it. Alright, well, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'm Amy.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are
the Everyday Epic.
See y'all in the next one.